Hey guys, you're on the JRB Tree Climbing channel. We are working on this playlist about evolving the universal climbing system. And so far I showed you how to set up your double stationary rope system. I showed you how to add SRT on the fly. But before we take this system all the way to a hitch climbing system, I want to give you a scenario which is quite common. And here's the scenario. You arrive at a tree carrying your double stationary rope system, and the only viable crotch is too low. You want to be higher than that. You want to be on the other side of that crotch. And although I'm using a throw ball to access the crotch, I'm also going to utilize my pole to get on the other side of it. We're going to start using some of the tools in our toolboxes. And once I show you how I accomplish this, well, the system just starts looking more and more like a hitch climbing system. So let's remove our throw ball. Let's attach our climbing rope. Let's rig it. And you can see I just slide my friction hitches into place at whatever height I need them. So here I am, but I'm not high enough. I want to be on the other side of this. In fact, I want to use this branch to position myself. How do I do so? If I had a hitch climbing system, what would be on the other end of the rope? Well, there'd be a friction hitch and a foot loop. And I don't have one, but I can effectively create one on the fly using the Longhorn Agile hitch. But again, if it was pre-rigged, I wouldn't have to tie as much stuff here. So you can see how I'm shortening my bridge on the fly here. Now I'm going to tie a Maverick hitch. Lock it. And I'm going to utilize my pole. Okay, now, again, if I was set up with a hitch climbing system, I wouldn't have to put a friction hitch on here. And I wouldn't have to transfer my leg loop either. I'm trying to appeal to your knowledge of the system and understanding that the less knots that we tie in the woods, the better. But because I don't have to set up, I'm popping a Longhorn Agile on here. Okay, now, this is a nice feature with my double adjustable bridge, right? That either bridge can be my long bridge or my short bridge. And so I'm going to let a little bit of length into that which was my short bridge. And I'm going to load that Longhorn Agile. And now I'm going to remove my guarded hitch foot loop. And I'm going to transfer it over to the single line. But again, I wouldn't have had to do that either if there was a foot loop and a friction hitch here. And you can see I am now completely loaded on the single rope system. All right, let's disconnect what was my long bridge. Now it becomes my short bridge, and I put it right under to the best friend. And now I'll complete the climb. And so here you get a good idea of what's possible. Now, that pole, this goes to show you how the length of the pole that you choose can really affect you. This is the longest hiking stick I can find, but yet I kind of wish my tie-in point was just a little bit higher. Now, of course, I can transfer onto the other side. My point is with this move is that having an extra friction hitch on the other end of your stationary double rope climbing system and an extra foot loop on that comes in handy for this move. So my recommendation for anyone who wants to be able to pull this off with a DSRT system is that you've got another friction hitch and another foot loop on the other side to make this climb easier. Well, once you're there, you're only 2 hitches short of the full universal system. So I wanted to appeal to you to understand that point. All right, so let me get this set up for rappel. So I am going to unlock the Maverick Hitch. And now I'll release the Maverick. Now it will get hung up because there's a branch, but it'll release. Once I've got that friction hitch there, boy, I'm prone not to take it off. I might want that there in the future. So you get the idea. The more flexibility you want in the system, the more it starts to look closer and closer to a universal system. Okay, now on my typical hunts, I am going to a preset tree where I know where I'm going, but I understand a lot of folks will entertain these run and gun scenarios, and I'm not saying I never do them. If you do a run and gun scenario where you're not going to prepared tree, well, it's not that much of a big deal to bring a throwball. I think most rope climbers bring a throwball. So if you're already bringing one, and you bring a pole, it really widens the possibility in terms of the number and types of trees you can get into, because you don't have to stop at that first branch, you can get over it. And if you believe you might be returning to that tree in the future, you can leave a false crotch or a floating anchor in that spot. And so with this video, I'm just trying to open some doors for you as you think about all of the tools that we've been putting in your toolbox over the last year, and how they fit together in potentially an infinite number of different scenarios. But what I wanted to appeal to you there is really just that the system is evolving. I had 2 hitches on it for a double stationary system. Well, now I have a third one, and I wouldn't mind having a leg loop on there. It's starting to look a lot like a universal system. And so I'll show you that next. Thank you very much.